Much for having me on with you.
My pleasure. What's going on here? Tell me, is Harry Reid's son really behind all of this?
I can tell you that it's bigger. I think it's even bigger than him. Okay, I think it's bigger than little Rory. I think his daddy has his hand in it as well. I mean, for his dad to come out and say this isn't over. Well, you know what? We're starting to publish the dead cattle, what the BLM did, and now we're starting to talk to ranchers that their norm for rounding up cattle is helicopters and ATVs, a horrifying, it's a hurtful and harmful and cruel way to round up animals. The animals will continually get injured and die. That's why most of the mothers are separated from the calves. A lot of calves have died. And I will tell you, it's really funny because as I'm watching, when I was on What's Your Point with a couple of hosts, one of the hosts said that, the Bundys owe $1 million. And I questioned him. I said, did you see the bill? Because that's a crock. That's a crock. Did you see the bill? Well, yesterday he was on his show again, What's Your Point? And with that $1 million slammed down with Rory Reid down to, he's got a bill of like $200,000. $200,000. And that was in my email. So they're looking at, maybe $200,000 and spending $10 million. It's really, Larry, so crystal clear that it's not about the cattle.
I'm talking to Nevada State Assemblywoman Michele Fiore. Now, this whole thing started because supposedly Bundy owes $1 million that he failed to pay. It turns out he's been paying fees to the local authorities, but he's quarreling with whether or not the federal government even has the legitimate power to exact these fees.
That's correct. And I just to clarify again, yesterday on My News 3 on What's Your Point talk show, that host went from, he owes the government $1 million to when I questioned him about not knowing that for fact. Yesterday he changed his tune, and now it's down to $200,000. So all I'm saying is the media, thanks to the agenda of not the people, have totally put this out of perspective. This guy does not owe anyone $1 million.
Now, Ms. Fiore, the reason the environmentalists are okay with what's going on is because they claim that they're concerned about the desert tortoise, and that's why the Endangered Species Act was invoked here.
Yeah, and that's really a joke because the desert tortoise, when they put the desert tortoise on his land, and then when we had that economic downfall, they were euthanizing the desert tortoise, and they euthanized 700 to 800 desert tortoises. So again, it's fluff. It's fluff because they want to put their projects in. And when I actually did the research and looked at the 86-page solar project that they wanted to, which they said, oh, no, it's 35 miles adjacent to the Bundy property. When you look at the map, that the cattle graze on over 600,000 acres on the Golden Butte mountaintop there, and in that acreage is where their plants are, and their maps are very, very crystal clear. It's the same position as to where those cattle graze.
Michele Fiore is my guest, Nevada State Assemblywoman. Ms. Fiore, is it an overstatement to say this is about Harry Reid?
No, it's not an overstatement at all.
My final question is this, Ms. Fiore. I was one time reading a very long piece about Harry Reid in the local newspaper, the LA Times. And I remember saying to myself when I read it, this guy is going to go to jail. It was all about real estate deals, and all of a sudden something he bought with pennies on the dollar is now worth all of this, and he did it several times, and now he is a multimillionaire. Harry Truman, my mom's favorite Democrat, Ms. Fiore, used to say, anybody who goes into politics broke, comes out rich, is stealing. Why is it that the people in Nevada don't consider Harry Reid to be a crook?
Most of us do. We still are trying to figure out how he got elected.
And gets reelected and reelected and reelected.
Yes. It's all about money. It's all about money, and it's all about messaging.
Ms. Fiore, thank you very much for coming on. Michele Fiore, Nevada State Assemblywoman. Her website is votefiore.com. Ms. Fiore, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Larry.
Appreciate it.